everybody, this is Diana from So Very Crafty, and we are here today to make this adorable little tulip basket. That's what I call it. It's a little tulip basket, and it's great for putting your wonder clips in, or pins. Pencils will stand up in here, whatever it is that you want to put in. It's a nice little tulip basket that you can put just about any small item in. You can make this bigger if you like, depending on how big you make your fabric pieces. But this is just an adorable little basket project that is so easy to make that any beginner sewist can make this with no problem whatsoever. And I'm going to show you today how to go about making this little tulip basket. It is, like I said, super simple. I hope you enjoyed this project today. If you do, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and ding that bell for notifications so that you get more sewing and crafting tutorials here on the YouTube channel in your inbox. And if you want more sewing and crafting tutorials that are not on the YouTube channel, head over to the website at www.soverycrafty.com for loads and loads of more sewing and crafting tutorials that you won't see here. So how do we make this? Well, let's get started. The first thing you're going to need is some fabrics. And you're only going to need about 1/4 yard or less of fabrics. You can use a fat quarter for this project if you like. You're going to need an outer fabric and a lining fabric. You're also going to need some fusible fleece like Pellon 987F or something similar. You're going to cut your fabric pieces in a square. I've cut mine today 10 3/4 by 10 3/4. But you can make yours bigger or smaller depending on what it is you want. You're also going to need a couple of buttons, and I've gotten just some craft buttons out of my stockpile of craft buttons that I have. I'm going to set those aside for now. The first thing you're going to do is fuse your fleece, and you can fuse it to either the outer fabric or the lining fabric. It doesn't really matter. I fused mine to the lining fabric today. And once you've done that, you're going to round your corners. And I have this nifty little rounding tool. I will put a link in the description section of the video on where you can get this. And you just line it up, the straight edges on straight edges, and draw a line and just clip along there. It's a nifty little tool to have. Or you can use the top of a glass or the lid of a jar. Anything will work just to round those corners a little bit, because those are going to be the petals of our tulip. Now, once we have this, we're going to take our fabrics and we are going to place them right sides together. And we're going to stitch all the way around using a 3/8 inch seam allowance. But we're going to leave a little bit of an opening here so that we can turn this right sides out. So I'm going to head over to the sewing machine and I'm just going to stitch these together. I'm not going to show it on the video because it's just a matter of stitching all the way around this using a 3/8 inch seam allowance. Now I have taken care of that, and now we're just going to turn this right sides out. We're just going to reach in through our opening here and turn this right sides out. Now once you have turned this right sides out, you should probably press this with the iron, which I am going to do, and then I'm simply going to top stitch all the way around this so that I can have a nice finished edge for my tulip basket. And it's also going to close up this opening where I turned my basket right sides out. So I'm going to head over to the iron and then to the sewing machine, and I'm simply going to top stitch all the way around this, what is basically a rounded square, and come back and show you our next step. Okay, so now I have top stitched all the way around my project, and now I'm going to draw some lines. The first line is going to be from corner to corner, like a big X. And then I'm going to measure 1 7/8 inch from this line and draw another line. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. And now I'm going to measure also from the other diagonal line 1 7/8 inch. And the same for the other side. So you're going to have a little bit of a checkerboard here. All of this will make sense in a minute. Now the next thing we're going to do is we need some wonder clips. And if you don't have any wonder clips, I'll put a link in the description section on where you can get those. But we're going to fold our project on that first line, and we're going to clip. And we're going to do the same thing for each of the lines that we drew. And you can see that our project is starting to take some shape. But you'll notice that our corners are kind of sticking out here, which is what we want. We're going to take another wonder clip and we're just going to clip these corners together. Just like this. Now the next thing that we're going to do is some hand sewing. We are going to take our corners and clip them together, but we're going to use some hand stitching so that we can sew our corners together like that. And you can see that our tulip shape is beginning to take shape. So I'm going to go get a needle and thread and we're going to stitch those together. So I have a needle and thread here and I'm just going to stitch these two corners together. Using my needle and thread. And you don't have to worry about this because there's going to be a button that's going to cover this, so it doesn't have to be that neat. So we're just going to stitch these together. Corner to corner. Just like that. Now you can really see how this is starting to take shape. So I'm just going to put a knot here, and I'm going to do the same thing for the other side of this. Clip that off. Okay, so I have stitched both sides of my corners on my tulip basket. Now I'm going to remove my clips from the bottom, and I'm going to fold my sides and clip the tops. And you will notice that my bottom is square and it sits nicely on the table. The next thing that we're going to do is we are just going to do a couple of stitches in these creases where we've clipped our corners. And I really should pull these up a little bit. So we're just going to put some stitches, some hand stitches at each of these corners to make our tulip basket sturdy. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'll come back and we'll add our buttons. Now there we have our tulip basket. And all we need to do now is to add our buttons. I'm not going to do that on the video because it's just more hand sewing. But I would add a nice matching button like I did on the prototype to cover this junction where the corners meet. and then your tulip basket is all finished. That's all there is to this project. It is a simple one, just a little bit of machine sewing, a little bit of hand sewing, and you are finished and ready to go. How adorable is this little tulip basket? Like I said, you can use it for your wonder clips. I had my wonder clips in mind for a long time. Now I just use it for my measuring tape, pens, and other things, and I sit it on the side of my workstation. So I hope you enjoyed this project today. It is a super simple one. It's fun to make loads of them, give them as gifts. They are great for just about anything. They stand up nice and sturdy, and they're just a fun little project for the beginner sewist. So if you enjoyed this project, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and ding that bell for notifications so that you can get more sewing and crafting tutorials here at Sew Very Crafty. And if you want even more, head over to the website at www.sewverycrafty.com and get more sewing and crafting tutorials that you won't find here on the website. But you'll find this one. And if you like pictorial tutorials more than video tutorials, you'll find this exact project over on the website. So just type in tulip basket and you'll be able to find it. So that's all we have for today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you all next time. Bye.